Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back once again to Phatkat Collections. Got another awesome leather jacket for you folks today, and this is by a company that goes by the name of Fan Jackets. And I'm going to put the link in the description. Do remember to subscribe to the channel for all kinds of fresh content every single week, from men's clothing items to cool smart home tech to cars, you name it, I'm going to have it on this channel. So, if you folks been watching Phatkat for a while, you guys know I'm a huge watch collector, but I'm also a leather jacket collector. And I love leather. I've worn leather since I was, 15, 16 years old. I just love the way leather jacket feels. I love the way it looks. It's just kind of a timeless, awesome accessory for you folks. So let's check it out. So before I show you the jacket, I'm just going to show you the box. I never really get too involved in showing off, the box, doing an unboxing, but it's a basic box. It says Experience Luxury, just cardboard. Made to last is the hashtag. I'm not sure why they have a hashtag like that on there. They should put their own company's hashtag. But anyway, that's the box. That's about all we're going to say about it. But let's check out the jacket. So let's take a peek here. Now, I've reviewed probably 40 leather jackets on this channel, and don't quote me, I don't remember. I have over 40 leather jackets, so I have a pretty good idea of what you get for your money. And one thing I always like to point out when it comes to reviewing these kinds of products is that you can get a lot of bang for your buck with many different brands out there. And it's just funny, every time I do a video on something, whether it's a watch, whether it's cologne, whatever it is, there's always somebody to tell me how I need to get a better quality item. They always want to push you more towards like the big players out there, right? We're going to pay $1,000 for a jacket. We have men's grooming channels like Alpha Male who refer you to brands that he's affiliated with. And there's nothing wrong with that. You guys know my links are generally affiliate links. But generally, I'm going to recommend products that are affordable. And at the end of the day, with having over 40 leather jackets, I have a pretty good idea of what you get. And most of these jackets are coming from the same place. A lot of jackets come from India and Pakistan. Even when you have jackets that are more reputable brands like Harley Davidson and Schultz and Icon, I don't know where those jackets are made, but just because something may be made overseas as opposed to made in America really doesn't mean that it's inferior quality. There's lots of really great quality jackets, and if you want to pay $1,200 for a jacket, then maybe you're going to get something that maybe. Remember when I talked about watches and how if you look at like a Rolex watch compared to an Invicta watch or a $150 Pagani, that you are getting a watch that's been a little more refined, right? But at the end of the day, the Invicta is still a great watch too. The Pagani is still a great watch. And you don't have to spend a lot to look your best. Now, these are not riding jackets, although you can, let me throw it on here so you guys can just see what it looks like. You, of course, can wear any jacket you want riding a motorcycle, but generally, when folks buy riding jackets, you're buying something a little bit thicker in case you were to fall, right? This jacket, I believe, it feels like a lambskin. Again, don't quote me on that, but generally a lot of the more affordable jackets that you're going to find, on whether it be, some of these sites like Fan Jackets, whether it be some of the Amazon jackets, you're going to be getting a jacket that's more of a thinner type material. Now, that's not to state that you can't find cowhide jackets and buffalo jackets for exceptional prices. I have many in my collection, and generally when it comes to leather, this is how I kind of like to break it down. When you're looking at cowhide and buffalo, you're getting a much thicker leather, a rougher, stiffer leather. Lambskin tends to be softer. And it's funny that in the past, when I used to buy jackets from like Wilson Leather 20 years ago, you always paid a premium for lambskin. Whereas now, it seems like the lambskin is the more affordable version. So jackets like that, if you're a rider, I do recommend you get into something cowhide or buffalo. Of course, riding jackets are going to have, a lot of times, they don't always have to, some of the pads, kind of the tearaway pads, more of like body armor in there. But, I don't ride anymore, and generally jackets are more of a casual, more of just a accessory for me, right? So this is not a jacket that I would recommend you wear if you're going to be riding a motorcycle and you're expecting an element of protection. Naturally, anything you wear on your body is going to give you some protection, but it's not really meant for that. This is more of a stylish jacket, right? It does have that motorcycle kind of cafe racer vibe, and generally the cafe racer jackets have sort of like this, the collar doesn't have your lapels on it, right? It's more of just a around the throat tight collar. I have jackets, I can go both ways. I love jackets with large collars, large lapels. I like some of the, what I call the Brando jackets, more of your greaser type leather. And then jackets like this, which I think are a little, I don't want to use the word classy, but these are a little, I'd say less loud, right? A little less badass. So with this particular one, I chose the Camel Brown, and this jacket is extremely similar to a brand that I've reviewed in the past by Angel Jackets. Now, I don't know if it's the exact same thing. I don't know if they use the same manufacturers. Again, a lot of these jackets come from overseas, but I chose this because I just really like this kind of distressed brown. And I've purchased a jacket in this distressed brown before, and it ended up coming more of just like a dark brown. So this color I absolutely love. And, you know, when you have this many coats like I do, it gets harder and harder to find something that's a little bit more unique. And this one definitely fit the bill for me. I've been wanting a brown distressed leather jacket for quite some time, and I absolutely love this one. Now, size on this. Well, let me just first show you some of the design aspects. I'm not going to try to name all this stuff, but we have, of course, some button cuffs. You can bring this down a little bit tighter. I usually wear a watch, so naturally I keep it a little more open, so it's easier to take the jacket off. Fit on this is absolutely perfect. And that's one thing that why I like to do videos like this where I model the jacket, because it gives you an idea of how the jacket might fit you. So generally I wear smalls, and now I am not small, but I do like my jackets and my clothing more fitted. I weigh 182 pounds, maybe even 184. I'm kind of getting towards my bulking phase of working out, right? Which, to be honest with you, I just love Chipotle and pizza. But generally during the week, I try to maintain a healthy diet while I'm working. When I'm off, last meal of the day, I kind of eat whatever I want. So as far as my body type, I don't have a six-pack, I'm not ripped, but I do work out, and I generally can get away with wearing a small. It is subjective. Some folks are going to look at a small and say that's too tight. Some folks are going to say that I should have went with a large. It's really subjective. You always should buy what makes you happy, what you feel most comfortable. Now, with this jacket, because I've ordered similar jackets off Amazon in the past, that I did order smalls, back when, about 4 years ago, I cut drinking altogether, so I took in a lot less calories in beer and empty calories, and replaced that with food and started working out. So when I got a lot of those Amazon jackets, I did buy small, and I'll tell you right now, they are extremely tight. I can zip them, but they're really tight in the back section and under the armpits. I can still wear them. I still do wear them, but I would have preferred a small. So kind of like my body right now. Again, 182-ish pounds, 5'8". This is a medium. And the medium, I'm glad I didn't go to the small, because even the medium it's not uncomfortable, don't get me wrong. This is absolutely perfect. This is how I like a jacket to fit. When I reach, I can kind of feel it get a little tight in the armpits and around the back. I personally don't like jackets that are too big. I want the ability to feel like I'm wearing something tight. I feel like fitted clothing, whether it be a suit, a shirt, I just feel like it just looks nicer on me. That's just my personal preference. As far as the zipper, I will state sometimes some of those smalls, I do have to kind of suck in a little bit and zip it. But with this, I can zip this with ease. So, and I mention this to you because if you do see this jacket and you love the way it looks, whether you want one in black or maybe a different style from this company, I highly recommend them. They're very, very nice. I love this particular color, but they have a whole slew of different jackets. And if you are going to buy one, you have to kind of look at what your size is. Naturally, that's common sense, but it helps to know that a guy, this is what it looks like on a guy my size, my height, my weight. 5'8", 182 pounds. Again, not ripped six-pack, but in decent shape. And so if you, I don't know my exact chest measurement, but this will give you an idea what it might look like on you. So if you are let's say you're 180 pounds, 5% body fat ripped, you're going to have even more muscle, right? And so you might want to go with a large. If you are, I'd say 100 and again, I'm just kind of guessing here. If you look the way it looks on me, I'm kind of guessing on what it might look like on you. If you're in that 130 to 160 pound range, I would definitely recommend the small. Not everybody wears clothing fitted, right? I mean, I've had friends in the past that weigh 120 pounds and they still prefer to wear a large. So it just really depends. And the downside to buying stuff online is you just can't try it on. Now, this company did reach out and say, hey, if the size is no good, let us know. We'll exchange it, which is really great. This size is absolutely perfect. If every one of my jackets fit like this, I would have no complaints. It's almost, to me, feels a little bit more like a medium instead of a medium. But again, sometimes, you know, we're in summer right now, so I haven't worn some of my jackets for a while or even tried them on. Your body, if you're working out, your body is going to change, you know, with your diet, of course. So sometimes I'll slap on a medium and I'm like, wow, this feels like it should be, like, especially with this, again, when I bring my arms around, like, my back, I can definitely feel it tight in the back. So if you don't like restrictive clothing at all, then, and you're about my size, you might want to go with a large. But for my purposes, this is absolutely perfect. It zips. I don't have to struggle zipping it. It feels really nice around the body. It's not too loose. I personally feel like clothing should be fitted. But, you know, everybody's different in that. So, great looking coat. Let me get a couple close-up shots here in the back. You can see it's this really nice distressed brown. And this style here with what I call like this diamond kind of quilting across the shoulders, this is very common with a lot of different brands. So you're probably going to see brands out there all over Amazon, eBay, selling jackets with a similar kind of cut. Just keep in mind, when you watch these videos, I don't do these, and I don't want you guys to think this is the only place you can get a jacket like this. And I'll always be real with you folks. Some folks have said before in the past when I reviewed different brands, like I think David Outerwear was one, they're like, oh, these are Ally Express jackets. Same thing with watches. People are like, these are Ally Express watches. They just put a different name on them. I don't know whether that's true or not true, but all I can tell you is when I review a product for you right now, I can give you my opinions of this product. Now, is this the nicest leather jacket that I own? I'd say no, you know. But it's not inferior to anything else that I own made of lambskin. The only jackets that I really have that I would say is a really cut above quality, and that's because they're buffalo skin, is going to be your Pretender jackets. And those are more in that $400 to $500 price range. They're heavy, they're big, they're bulky, and to be flat out honest with you, I don't always want a big, heavy, bulky jacket. I actually prefer this. As much as I love the quality of those Pretender jackets, and I love cowhide and those different types of materials, this is the most comfortable, where you can throw this in the car. It's lightweight. You get a little bit of warmth, and it's not, you know, you put on one of those other heavier cowhide jackets, then you're sweating. This you can kind of wear in the fall. You can wear it in the spring. Even if you were by the coast or something, it was, you know, really breezy, and sometimes it gets a little cool in summer times too, right? So, I mean, it's just a very universal jacket, and I think it absolutely looks fantastic. Big shout out to Fan Jackets for their generosity in collaborating. I hope that this is a brand that wants to collaborate more in the future. You know, I'd say that their brand doesn't have insanely unique jackets. Like, there's a lot of coats out there I've seen that get really unique with like Pretender brands, and you know, they can get really, I think, you know, some folks don't like all the zippers, and when you start looking into Brando jackets, they start to get very busy, and I dig that, but they are very flashy. And I would say this is a nice mix between being somewhat conservative and a little bit bikerish, right? It's just kind of, I can see this kind of jacket, I picture somebody on like a Triumph wearing, right? Even though it's not technically like a motorcycle jacket, it's a motorcycle style jacket. So very nice, excellent color. It's amazing that after all these years of wearing and collecting jackets that I finally got the brown one that I've been wanting. I've gone through, I've been wanting to get a brown one that has this kind of faded, distressed look for quite some time, and this one definitely fits the bill. Very happy with it. Another option, if you like brown, Keanu Reeves wears in, the hell is it, John Wick. There is a Keanu Reeves jacket. I don't think this company sells it, but it's a very simple, more of a darker kind of chocolate brown, which I've been eyeballing for a while. It's one of those jackets that you can wear. It's just, I think it's nice to have a little, like I talked about with the watches, the variety. Sometimes you want to wear something really big, flashy, and just really in your face. And sometimes I want to wear a jacket that's like that, where it's very flashy and noticeable. Other times I just want something a little more subtle. This I wouldn't say is super subtle if you compare it to like your basic, that John Wick style, where it's basically like a collar, pocket, and no buttons, no snaps, no diamond printing. And I think when you start getting involved, I always call it diamond printing, but like the quilting, I think when you start adding this, it starts to make the jacket a little more, I think, youthful and flashy. But remember, despite what some of these wannabe YouTube influencers out there, these men's grooming gurus, and this is to be said too, there's some women out there who will state that leather jackets aren't for, you know, for certain people or a certain age. You can, whatever you see online that makes you happy and you're going to feel good and confident wearing it, you should buy. And that's, at the end of the day, you're only looking to compete with yourself and impress yourself. So just kind of keep that in mind. So as always, links are in the description. Thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, let me know. One thing I will state though, in case you do order a lot of these jackets, just so you guys know, because you may, you know, I don't know if you have any jackets already, but sometimes jackets that come from sites like this in India and Pakistan, the leather definitely has kind of a more of a gamey smell. It smells like leather, but it's more of a pungent kind of smell, right? What I call, and again, don't, I'm reluctant to even say this because I don't want to turn anybody off. It's not unpleasant. There's more of like what I consider more like a barnyard kind of smell, more of a very raw leather smell that you don't normally get from jackets made in the United States, like Wilson leather. They just smell like leather. That kind of gaminess will wear off, right? It's just kind of, I think it's just where they're sourcing the leather from, where this comes from, kind of probably part of their tanning process. But again, I don't know 100% about that, but it's not off-putting. It's just, it's a different smell than a leather jacket you're going to find like from a brick and mortar store or something in the United States. I don't mean from Amazon. I mean, if you were to go into like Macy's or one of those Florida Tailors or something like that and pick up a leather jacket there, or like a Harley shop, they're just going to smell like plain old leather. They're not going to have that more gamey smell. And it's not bad. I personally don't have any. It's just a difference, and that's the best way I could describe it. I feel like I'm describing cologne here. You know, like when some people describe cologne, they're like, ooh, it can be kind of barnyardish. Again, that's not the best way of describing it, but this is a fantastic jacket. Now, price on this here, I will state that price on this is going for $189, and there is a sale right now. $189, if I'm being honest, is a little bit steep when you look at what other companies are charging for jackets. But since COVID, things have gotten more expensive. I would expect a jacket like this normally to cost in the, and keep in mind I haven't bought one for a while, so generally I have jackets that are comparable in quality that are going to run you about $120, $130. This jacket, $189, it's more on I think the steeper side for more of a fashion jacket. But if you compare it to what you're going to pay if you walk into a brick and mortar store like Macy's, you're going to be paying like $3 to $6 in most cases that I remember seeing. And I see some guys on YouTube reviewing jackets who are like, oh man, the leather is so amazing. I can honestly tell you that of all the 40 plus jackets I have, this jacket in lambskin feels no different than a $300 Wilson leather jacket in lambskin. They're both soft. They're both nice. So just kind of keep that in mind. You're going to get a lot of misinformation on YouTube, like with everything else in the world. This is a fine jacket for the price. I would just like to see the price be a little bit more affordable, just to be a little bit more competitive. But overall, keep in mind also that some of the jackets I paid $120 for, $130 for on Amazon 4 or 5 years ago are now in that $180 price range. So, you know, things get more expensive. That's usually the way it works. So just a couple things to think about. So thanks for watching. Have a fantastic day and take care.